ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of this great text, Vivekachudamani, authored by the great Adi Shankaracharya and taught to us by our dear Guru Swami Paramarthananda here in the 21st century. Adi Shankaracharya composed this great work several millennia ago. It is still available to us in its pristine glory. Through the blessings of our illustrious Guru Parampara. We must all pat ourselves several times over, pat ourselves on our backs several times over. To not only be students of this great parampara, but also value the teachings given out by our gurus in this illustrious parampara that we are students of. As we have seen earlier in the famous third shloka of this great text, in which Adi Shankaracharya clearly states, Durlabham trayamevai tat devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshrayah. Swami Paramarthananda's favorite, one of his favorite shlokas, that he would have quoted hundreds of times, hundreds of times. So we are all indeed fortunate and we must count our blessings. If at all there is nothing else, no, no other blessing that we can count, this blessing is a singular blessing that is more than sufficient, that makes up for all the so called blessings that we cannot count, that we think we do not have. All we need to do is to become patrams, become suitable receptacles to receive this one singular blessing of the teachings given out by our gurus, our illustrious gurus, our compassionate gurus. It is with this degree of compassion, compassion of the highest quality, that Shankaracharya, in this complete verse number 12 that we have been studying, Shankaracharya says, Samyak vicharata siddha rajju tatvavadharana भ्रांतोदित महासर्प भय दुख विनाशिनी. Like we saw in the earlier capsules, Swamiji says, mentions that this verse is a complete verse by itself. It is a foundational verse. This verse emphasizes, stresses the importance of both jnanam as well as vicharaha. Jnanam as well as vicharaha. Vicharataha, we have seen this in the last capsule, just recapitulating what we studied in the last few capsules. Vicharataha rajju sarpa avadharanam. Vicharataha rajju sarpa avadharanam. The knowledge of rope or rajju jnanam is attainable through a single approach, through only one approach. The knowledge of the rope or rajju jnanam is achievable, is attainable only through one approach. Through inquiry and keen observation, aided by sufficient light. All words are significant words, loaded words. Aided by sufficient light, allowing us to discern the rope clearly. A defining sentence. Through inquiry and keen observation, aided by sufficient light, allowing us to discern the rope clearly. The rope, because it remains ambiguous due to the absence of sufficient light, is difficult to discern, to find its true nature. Therefore, two essential factors are required: proximity to the rope and clear observation facilitated by external illumination, like either a torchlight or even words uttered by a trustworthy person. Similarly, the Atma, the self, remains unclear due to lack of illumination. Which is provided by the light of scripture, Shastra light, enabling us to understand our true nature. Here, a beautiful and important point needs to be noted. There is no light required to reveal the Atma. No light is required to reveal the Atma. Why? Because Atma is self-effulgent. It is the light of all lights. न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति, says a famous Mundaka Upanishad mantra. Tameva Bahantam Anubhati Sarvam Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati. Everything else shines because of the Atma. Therefore, no light is required to reveal the Atma. It is like waving a camphor that is lit, waving it in front of Surya. I don't require a camphor to tell me that Surya Bhagavan is shining brightly out there. If I can't see Surya Bhagavan shining out there, then there's something wrong with my vision. I need to make corrections. Like Shankaracharya says, Sarvagam Satchidatmanam Ikshate Jnana Chakshusha Ajnana Chakshurnekshete Bhasvantam Bhanumandhavate. The all effulgent sun that is shining brightly, if someone says, I'm not able to see the sun or the sunlight, then obviously there is something wrong with my eyesight, right? I don't need any flashlight or torchlight to be shined on the sun. Similarly, no light need be, no flashlight is required to shine its light on the Atma. No. The flashlight is required to remove the darkness of ignorance that is present in our minds about our intrinsic, effulgent, brilliant, all knowing, infinite nature. That is what the light is all about. It's required. Not to reveal the Atma. Atma is self revealing. Just remove the veil of ignorance, Atma will shine forth. So, when we talk about the light of scripture, Shastra light, enabling us to understand our true nature, the light is required to remove the darkness that is existing in our minds. Just like we have to switch on a light in a dark room to get rid of the darkness. Then the room automatically gets lit by the light. There's not a separate process. All I need to do is remove the veil that's covering the objects in the room. I can go on endlessly like this. I'm reminded of another famous shloka from Guru Stotram. Ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yene tasmai shri gurave namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. The Guru applies the collyrium of Jnanam and makes you see. Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yene. He who opens your eyes by giving you Jnanam opens your eyes to your own inner nature. Ajnana timirandhasya jnana anjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yene tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So the effort is not to reveal the Atma, the effort is to remove covering, the covering of ignorance that has been shrouding our vision, preventing us from seeing ourselves in its true light, ourself in its true light. So, if the self remains completely ununderstood, it poses no issue, says Swamiji. In Jagrat and Swapna Avastha, self ignorance is not total. It's not total. It is partial. And why do we say it is partial? Because I know I am. I know that I am an individual. But I do not know that this intrinsic person that I say that I am, this person is that Brahman. That I don't know. There's only partial knowledge in Jagrat and Swapna Avasthas. Which is why Swamiji calls it partial knowledge. I know who I am, but I do not know that I am Brahman. In deep sleep, of course, there is total ignorance because I do not even know that I am. The I-ness is clear, amness is clear, but Brahmanness is not clear, which is where all the problems arise. So, I-ness and amness are known. This is called Samanya Jnanam. But Brahmanness is not known, and therefore it is called Vishesha Jnana Abhavaha. Vishesha Jnana Abhavaha. In the case of Rajjujnanam, total knowledge of the rope is possible only when I go near the rope with sufficient amount of light. Similarly, I can gain Atma Jnanam only when I inquire into the Atma. How? With an extra light. And what is that extra light? Shastra Pramanam is that extra light. Inquiry without Shastra Pramanam will not lead to knowledge because there is Manda Andhakara, partial darkness. Why do I require an extra torchlight? It is because this surrounding is not well lit. We must understand the steps clearly, friends. Without proper aiding light, inquiry is meaningless. Any inquiry. Similarly, without the assistance of the Shastra, however intensely I close my eyes and inquire, ask myself the question, who am I? However sincerely I meditate, however sincerely I work for intuition to be generated, nothing will work because extra light is missing. Extra light is missing. Shastra light is missing. Therefore, in the Rajju Drishtanta, the Rajju example, the rope example, inquiry with extra light generates rope knowledge. Likewise, inquiry with the extra light of Shastram generates Atma Jnanam. Inquiry with the extra light of Shastram generates Atma Jnanam. Knowledge about ourselves. This is the first part of the rope snake example. It is up to this that we studied in the last capsule, but I ran through what we had gone through in the last capsule owing to it being an important topic and that needs to be internalized thoroughly. Now, in the second part of the example, if rope knowledge alone can destroy the fear born out of the wrongly perceived snake, if rope knowledge alone can destroy the fear born out of the wrongly perceived snake, not one must gain what must one gain? One must gain rope knowledge, isn't it? If rope knowledge alone can destroy the fear born out of the wrongly perceived snake, one must gain rope knowledge. Simple as that. Nothing else other than knowledge can destroy the snake, our snake, nor the fear born, fear or bhaya. That's the word Shankaracharya uses in the shloka. Nothing else other than knowledge can destroy the snake, nor the fear, bhaya, born of the wrongly perceived snake. Nothing else. Nothing else. If the objective is to understand the rope in its true nature, it is only rope knowledge that can eliminate the ignorance, our ignorance of the rope. This is very clear. Nothing else other than knowledge can destroy our snake, nor can anything else remove our fear of that snake, the bhaya, born of wrongly perceived snake. This is the second part of the example. Let us pick up the thread of this beautiful discussion, ensuing discussion on sloka number 12 in the upcoming capsules and take it forward from there. Until then, Hari Om.